All right, he has won 3 straight games. He's won 3 straight against the Patriots, and he fell asleep during the Princess Bride. That's why we love him. It's Josh Allen. What's up, dude?
You're never gonna let me live that one down, are you?
Well, it is memorable, and maybe we'll add to that today because we have so much to get into. First and foremost, you had like a little bit, I hate to use the term mini buy because maybe you guys don't consider that, but you played the Thursday, you got a long weekend. What'd you do? What'd you get up to?
No, it was definitely a mini buy. Some guys get out of here, they go home. Some guys go to Toronto. We're pretty close to Toronto. I love Toronto. Toronto's a good spot. But me personally, I sat in my couch and watched a an overload amount of football. I watched it all, and I
Oh my
watched
gosh.
Scott Hansen. He called me Jared Allen on stream, and I tweeted at him. I don't know if he saw it, but I said touche. I deserve
Yeah.
that one. So I've called him Chris Hansen too many times. I deserved it.
I saw it. We talked about it. I thought it was perfect. I mean, he's in you. The Jared Allen thing, Chris Hansen to catch a predator, Scott Hansen to catch a touchdown. You must have had a great weekend. Like you're sitting there, you're tweeting at
It was
Scott
great.
Hansen, just watching ball.
Yeah, and speaking of Predator, we watched that one too. So I'm excited to get into that one.
Dude, Allen's on fire. We're gonna get to Predator, and we get to all kinds of stuff. I have to tell you, you made me laugh out loud on my couch watching you against the Patriots, and I'll tell you why. Second quarter, 3rd and goal at the 8. You roll out, you do the patented Josh Allen stiff arm, and you do a jump pass to Gabe in the back of the end zone. I straight up laughed when it was like the coolest, most hilarious play for reasons I can't totally describe. Give me your perspective on that play. You're so good at telling the story. Start to finish, tell me about that play.
Yeah, well, we had a man beater type concept right off the jump. They kind of played almost like a robber, and that means just one of the safeties just kind of lingering in there. And I felt like he was kind of in the way. Knowing that, I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to buy some time. They had a spy on me, and he kind of met me near the sideline. And it's just one of those things, right? Like we talk about situational football. 3rd and 8, like usually you don't want to take a sack in the red zone. 1st and 2nd down, no way you're taking a sack, right? I'm throwing the ball away, get rid of it. Now, when it's 3rd down and you know you're not going to be going for it in that situation on 4th down, it's okay to take a sack there. Like the statistic differences between a, what is it, 28-yard field goal and a 35-yard field goal, like really, really nothing. So knowing that I can extend the play there, keep the play alive, obviously just throwing a little stiff arm there. And I saw Gabe Davis, and he was running this way. And I just felt like those guys had given up on the play, and I felt like he was about to go back for me. I made sure there was nothing backside, and yeah, just threw one back there. And typically those are the ones like they leave your hand. You're like, just be right, please be right. Don't throw another interception here. And it came off the hand well. And Gabe, he made an unbelievable play coming back to the ball, which again, our guys do such a good job of that, and knowing that they can get the ball at any point in any play. It's really all it was.
It's funny that you describe your inner monologue because there's an image of like a cartoon character and they have a devil on their shoulder and the devil's like, throw it, take the touchdown. And the angel's like, now, maybe just throw it away. Does it feel like that in the moment? Does it get that slow?
Sometimes, yeah. In that moment, yes,
Yeah.
it did. And there's some that are just so split decision, like, but there's some like you have that split second of thought in your brain. It's just like, I can make this throw, but should I make this throw? And sometimes the one on the left side wins, sometimes the one on the right side wins, and sometimes again you kind of get lucky. And I don't think that one was a lucky one though. I think me and Gabe are on the same page.
I did too, and that comes from years of experience and practice reps and training camp and off season. I could spend the whole conversation here, Josh, talking about that play. I have one more question. You were so close to the sideline. It was inches. And you've done this before. Like Next Gen Stats, they calculate this stuff. But I watched, you don't look down to make sure you're in bounds. How do you know where the sideline is so you can cut that close with your big old foot?
Honestly, I couldn't give you an exact reason of like why I know I'm in. It's more just like if I'm in, I'm in. If I'm out, I'm out. If he dies, he dies.
Yeah.
Like that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. But I think again, just playing football for so long, you feel like you know where you're at, like just based on visual, like where I'm looking down in the end zone, I can see pylons there. Like I just feel like I'm in bounds here. It's just kind of a feel thing that just kind of comes with, I guess, repetition over time. And again, I've been playing football since 7, 8 years old. I feel like I have a pretty good grasp of what the field is.
Same size field in the NFL and high school and every level, and you use every inch of it. Afterwards, as if that night couldn't have gotten cooler, dude, you met Jay-Z after the game. You're coming off the field, you're in the tunnel, and Jay-Z is there in Foxborough. We even have video of it. Tell me what is going on here. What's going on through your head?
Yeah, I'm walking through the tunnel, and I see him walking.
Yeah.
I'm like, I kind of give him like a little hand gesture, and all of a sudden I'm walking with Gabe, and I hear Gabe, and Gabe kind of looks back, and I don't know if he realized who was talking. I go, hey Gabe, like Jay-Z's calling you, and he went over there and said what's up. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this time. I'm gonna go dap him up. So yeah, like anytime you get to meet, like I said, somebody with so much respect, everybody knows who Jay-Z is. You know, like that was a pretty cool moment.
Well, wheelhouse for you right here. So who would be on your list of men or women that you're walking off the field and they're standing there at one of your games and you get to go up and say hi to them and it would just blow your mind? It would sink your battleship. Who would that be?
I think Tiger Woods would be one. I think I've got a lot of respect for him. Like there's only been a few athletes in my life that like I've actually like felt like I was on the field or, you know, in that moment with him. Kobe was one of them, and Tiger was the other one. So I think Tiger he'd probably be number one. I think number two, I don't know.
What about your boy Will Ferrell?
Yeah, Will Ferrell, he'd be up there. I was about to say him. Maybe Steve Carell. Obviously, my affinity for The Office. Yeah, so I think those two will probably be at the top.
Do you get nervous? Like if you met Steve Carell, would you just be cool, or do you start talking weird and talking fast? Like, is that something that affects you?
No, I think I'd be pretty cool. And I say that now, not being in the moment. Who knows what's going to happen? But I feel like I'd be pretty chill in those moments.
Sometimes I start a sentence and I don't know where it ends. Like the Michael Scott stuff would just come flying out, though. I feel like
it would, but like I met Richard Madden one time. Obviously, he's in Game of Thrones. He's the King of the North, and this was I'd say fairly early into my career, right? And I walked up to him and I said, "King of the North," and I just felt like he really hated that because he probably gets that from everybody, and I was just like, "Ah, man, I shouldn't have said that." Like that was one of those moments. Again, like I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, and it was like I think season 8 had just ended, and he was there. It was at an F1 event, and I said it, and I was like, "Ah, man, I wish that's one thing I wish I could take back." Not saying that.
We all do it, man. Listen, it could have been worse. You could have met Jay-Z, and you could be like, "Look, Jay, we got 99 problems, but the Patriots ain't one." Like that would be cringe city. So he didn't do that.
For sure, yeah. I've learned from my mistakes. I've gotten better from that moment. You know, I guess you got to go through those to learn.
Hell yeah, you do. Holiday season, you've talked about you're a gift giver, but indulge me, dude. Everybody has something that they want. Like I want a shaving mirror in my shower. It's just a stupid thing that I asked my wife for. It's probably $40. What do you want for Christmas?
I'm so low maintenance when it comes to gifts. Like, I love like little trinkets and gadgets and like things just to keep my mind occupied. Like I have a bunch of these little bar games, right? Like there's like a little ring attached to a coil, and you got to get the ring off the coil. Like, dude, I just love having fun. Like board games, card games. I think a nice chess set would be at the top of my list right now. I've been getting into chess, but I'm not a very expensive or high maintenance gift receiver. I should say, like anything I get, I'm pumped about.
I can tell. Someone should get you a Stark v. Lannister chess set. I think that exists. I think that's out there.
That would be pretty cool. I would welcome it.
Someone will welcome. Now 50 Bills fans are going to find that for you guys. No need. Josh is not looking at it from you. Maybe from one of his friends. How about this one? How about Santa Claus brings you an early Christmas present and gives you and your teammates Odell Beckham Jr.? How would you feel?
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be really, really cool. He came to Buffalo, it's no secret.
Yeah.
Got to hang out with him for a little bit and I guess give our best spiel. But I know there's reports about him committing today or tomorrow. I don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think everybody would welcome that. Obviously, like you can never have too many weapons on a team, and again, his track record speaks for itself. And he stays in that game last year. He's a Super Bowl MVP, and it's looking a whole lot different this year for him. But yeah, I know he's chomping at the bit to pick a team, and I guess we'll see where he goes.
And I know that Von's kind of the godfather on that for obvious reasons. What's that like? Is it when you say recruitment pitch? Is it a casual hang, or is it like here's the real solid reasons with a PowerPoint and like an overhead projector? How does that go? What was that like?
For us, it was a solid hang. Like we didn't really talk about football. Like I gave him some tidbits of what I could foresee happening, with him on the field. But it was just kind of like, let's just hang out, dude. Let's break bread together. And I think it's more of a feel thing. And he wants to be in a spot where he feels welcomed and comfortable and can come in and try to make an impact right away. And again, wherever that may be, the dude's he's awesome. He really is. I really enjoyed, spending time with him. And again, I guess we'll see.
Was that your first time meeting him, or had you known him at all before that?
I had met him a couple times. But like quick, short interactions, like Super Bowl parties or something like that, like at an event, like he's walking by media row saying what's up. And that's like the first time I actually got to spend some quality time with him. And again, he would fit so well into our locker room. I know he gets this rap and from when he was in New York of the kicking net and all that stuff, but the dude can absolutely ball out. And I think, given his point in his career right now, he wants to win football games. He wants to win Super Bowls. And, I think he understands that, what bringing a Super Bowl here to Western New York and Bills Mafia would mean. And I think that excites him. So we'll see.
Looks like there's a bunch of teams that want him. You have a good feeling?
I honestly, I've recruited before. I've tried to talk guys into coming here. And it's never really gone our way. So I've got no, hope for the best, expect the worst. That's what my mantra is right now with this. And again, I'm a fan of his. Wherever he goes, I hope he has success. But personally, we wish he's here.
Hell yeah, I hear it. I see it. I hear it. You said you had your mini bye and you watched tons of football. That sounds like you're heaven. So many great games this past weekend. I think the best game, in my personal opinion, was Bengals Chiefs. Do you watch Bengals Chiefs? I
did watch that game.
What'd you think?
I'm again at 27-24. This year, dude, it's been, Coach McDermott talked about this in our team meeting yesterday. It's been the lowest margin of victory in the NFL, I think, ever. Like the games this year have been so close, and the opportunities that come around are so minimal that you have to capitalize on those opportunities. So there's one or two plays in every game that can swing the entire course of a game. And there was a couple that happened in that Chiefs Bengals game. And I was a fan. I enjoyed watching those two guys, Pat and Joe, duking it out. They both played really, really, really good football. And there were some really good games this weekend.
Great games. And, it's the Chiefs and Bengals are obviously two teams that you could run into. You're going to play the Bengals in a few weeks. You mentioned Joe. You've never played him. He's been in the league now 3 years. He got hurt his rookie year. You've never faced him. You will shortly. What are your impressions of him as a player and as a guy?
Yeah, so he trained with Jordan Palmer coming out. So I've gotten actually to spend time with him. He's awesome, dude. He is so ball. Like that's all he wants to talk about. That's all he wants to do is play football and be a quarterback. And again, he's playing some high level football right now. He's extremely accurate. He knows what's going on. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and I think his play shows for it. And I think with their offense in whole, like they got some pieces, they got some weapons, and on the defensive side of the ball, Logan Wilson, that's my guy. I played with him in Wyoming for a few years, and he's an absolute animal. So looking forward to that matchup again, just because I know a few guys on that team, and hopefully I can get Logan's jersey and hang it on my wall here down in the basement. And yeah, but we'll see them. I think I don't know if they're our last game or not. I don't really know our schedule other than who we're playing this next week, but yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, you've told me that before, that you don't look at the schedule and you didn't know the Chiefs were a couple weeks away when they were, and that's just not how you operate. You've also said before, dude, that you wear a lot of sweatpants and maybe a couple pairs of Jordans that you have, and that's kind of the limit of your swag or your drip. Like, Burrow is setting the standard. Like, he shows up in crazy outfits. Like, he sets the tone for, like, the whole league. What are your impressions of his style?
Dude, it's A1. It's like, it's top of the game. Some guys can pull it off, some guys can't. I just unfortunately, fall in that can't category. I don't know if it's my legs are too big. I'm just a big guy, and I look funny in some of those clothes sometimes. And it's like, I'm just gonna put my sweats on and be casual, and just worry about trying to play quarterback instead of spending time in my closet trying to pick what goes with each other and what shoes go with that. Like, and I don't want to hire a stylist or anything like that. I'm just low key.
You are, and it suits you and it fits you. I want to ask you about another guy. So Baker Mayfield, your draft class, #1 overall pick. I know you know him. We've talked about it before. Doesn't have a team. He's free agent. It's crazy how that's happened. I'm a huge Baker guy. I know he has his critics. I love Baker. What's your take on the state of Baker Mayfield right now?
Well, I mean, he doesn't have a team right now, but I think once 4 o'clock rolls around, I guess we'll find out what team picked him up, because again, I think he's very talented, and come out in the same draft class. I got to know him a little bit too, and I love him as a guy. Like, he's fiery, he's a competitor. Obviously, I think he's one of those guys though that's like, you love him on your team, and when he's on the opposing team, the defenses hate him. He's like, that's just kind of how he rolls, and that's how he's been, in college. The walk-on story. He's had a lot of adversity in his life, so I know this is kind of just a hiccup in his path. But if anybody knows him, I'm sure this is just gonna motivate him, and I'm sure he's gonna find a way. Because he always has in his career.
Absolutely, couldn't have said it better. Love the guy, rooting for him. We got a lot of stuff to take care of with the movie business, but I got to ask you about the Jets first. You're playing the New York Jets. The headline here, listen, you said it yourself. Last time you played the Jets, you said you played like bleep. That was your quote afterwards. I thought it was kind of cool that you just owned it like that. What do you try to change this time around? This is the second shot at him. What do you try to do different personally?
Yeah, just win the game. And that's, I know that sounds weird, but just score more points than they do. Being smart with the football, making good decisions. Their defense is playing at such a high level right now that, we got to be on our P's and Q's, and we got to put together a good game plan. And, I know Coach Dorsey's been working on it hard these last few days. And again, having a little mini bye week that allows us to get a jump start on them. But, it's hard to beat teams in this league. It's hard to beat them twice. And obviously we're playing at home in division game. Like, this is one that we have to have, and we understand that. Like, Coach McDermott preaches that all the time. You got to win at home, you got to win your division games. And this kind of falls into both of those categories, I should say. So we know it's a big one. It's the next one. We just got to put our best foot forward and focus on trying to win a football game.
Rested and ready, focused like you always are. It'll be a great game. I can't wait to talk about it next week. In the meantime, we have a lot to accomplish before you go here today, Josh, because we've done the Josh Allen Film Festival all season. The qualifications for the film festival has to be before you were born in '96 and a movie you've never watched before. First things first, we have to solve a mystery. Last week we were talking about sports movies, and you mentioned a movie that was based on a true story that you have a real problem with, that your teammates know and will ruffle some feathers. I talked about this here. I talked about this on the NFL Network. And I have a list of movies that I suspect it might be. Remember the Titans, Friday Night Lights, Miracle, The Blind Side, and Draft Day are my guesses for the movie based on a true story that you have a problem with. Did I get it right with one of these?
I can neither confirm nor deny any of these options.
All right, and why is that? This is a movie. You know I'm going to have your back. Why not just admit it? This is a movie and that I just have a problem with, and I watch a lot of them, and there's this one thing that grinds my gears about this movie. Let's hear it. What do you got? I got your back.
I'm not doing it. Not going down that rabbit hole. I'm not. I can't do it.
Is that because people love this particular movie, and you saying you don't like it will piss people off?
I think that's part of it. But again, I've made people mad with The Princess Bride before. Like that's not part of it. I think all of these movies here have their flaws. I'm a Miracle guy though. Like take Miracle off.
Okay, good.
That's one that
okay. Miracle's out here. Take the list off.
Right. Listen, right behind this wall, I've got a USA versus USSR bubble hockey. Like I freaking love
sweet.
the movie Miracle. Yeah, like.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite all-time movies because I got a lot of USA pride, and I remember watching that as a kid, like being in the theater. It was me, my brother, and one of our buddies named Dominic, and we were maybe 9-10 years old, and we were going absolute nuts. Like we thought it was a real game. Like that last game, again, like, do you believe in miracle? Like we were going absolutely ballistic inside the theater, and it's one of the memories I remember. Like one of my earliest memories was going to that movie and watching that.
Oh, that's awesome! You got to meet Kurt Russell. I'm sure you've met Al Michaels. He's the Miracle guy.
Yep, I have.
Oh my gosh! All right, I'll leave this alone. We'll go to Predator. But before giving you my theory, I thought it was The Blind Side because I know you have convictions and a chip on your shoulder about college recruiting and what you went through with that. And the fact that Nick Saban and all these people are trying to recruit this guy based on a video if he pushes a guy out of bounds in high school seems preposterous to me. And I feel like you were like, The Blind Side, I got some problems with that. But I know you would not want to admit even if I was right.
Listen, I think all of those movies on that list had a lot of flaws. And I think it's more so based on the notion of based on a true story. Like that's what really grinds my gears about this particular movie. That's as many hints as I'll give you for that.
I got you, bud. I got you. Let's get to something. Josh watched a movie that came out in 1987. It was called Predator, and it sounds a little bit like this.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time to bleed.
You're damn right he doesn't have got time to bleed. Josh, let's just get into it. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. What did you think of Predator?
Yeah, again, like it's so weird watching these movies and understanding like so many iconic scenes, quotes, moments, like the meme of the guys handshaking, right? Like I didn't realize that was from this movie. Like, if it bleeds, we can kill it, get to the chopper, which everybody on Earth says, right? Like, it's in Arnold's voice.
Get to the chopper!
Yes. It was so insanely quotable, and it's one of those movies, again, I've watched Family Guy, and there's so many references in Family Guy to this movie. It was nonstop action. It was just so, man, like it wasn't like this weird sci-fi movie that could have gone different paths. Like it was just to the point. It was just man action right away. Arnold, he killed it. I think that's his best acting performance. Like I've seen The Terminator and I've seen some other stuff that he's in, but like this one was so good and it's so iconic. It's an A for me. Like there was no like downtime. Like there was no wait for something. Like you're on the edge of your seat basically the whole movie, and everybody in this team that's out there in the forest. And I thought the graphics and the visuals were really cool too, especially back in that day. But they're back to like there's something waiting for us, right? And we're all gonna die. Like they're so scared, and Arnold's just like, all right, come kill me, I dare you. And he's just basically challenging this beast, and it was awesome.
Oh my gosh, you got me. If I was with you right now, we would do the "you son of a bitch." I'm so excited that you're excited. So the guy who says I ain't got time to bleed, I don't know if you know him at all. That's Jesse the Body Ventura. No. Okay, so Apollo is he's the guy who gets killed and he's got the mustache and he's kind of betraying Arnold the whole time. But the guy with the minigun. Yes, exactly. The minigun guy who's I ain't got time to bleed with the big dip in and like the cowboy hat. That's Jesse the Body Ventura, who used to be a pro wrestler and then went on to become the governor of Minnesota. So, like, of all the things in that movie, Arnold became governor of California, Jesse became governor of Minnesota. It's an absolutely legendary deal with that cast.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. That's really cool.
I'm so excited that you loved
Yeah,
it, man,
it's an A.
because
It
it
was
does
awesome.
just kick ass. It's an A. All right, let's move on. Josh, I got options for you. These are three
Okay.
movies, and if you've seen one of them, just eliminate it. But bring up the three movies. We got 1993's Tombstone, 1992's My Cousin Vinny, and 1990's Misery. Have you seen any of these?
I have not seen any of those.
Okay, so Tombstone is like an ass-kicking cowboy movie with your boy Kurt Russell from Miracle. My
Okay.
Cousin Vinny, landmark comedy with Joe Pesci, takes place in a courtroom. And then Misery is this really scary movie about an obsessed fan who kidnaps the person she's obsessed with. You choose. What are you into, buddy?
I love me an old Western. I really do. Is that what
Let's go.
Tombstone is?
Hell, it's the Western. You're gonna
Okay.
If you're choosing
Okay.
Tombstone, it rocks, dude.
All right, I think that's the
All
one
right.
then.
Tombstone with Val Kilmer in the role of Doc Holliday. Tombstone from this year, you're going to absolutely, it's going to blow your mind, dude. I'm happy for you that you're going to watch it. You love Predator. Last question before you go. You're always involved in so many things, charitable, philanthropic, whatnot. There's an initiative that's called Forgive Co., which is a public benefit corporation to wipe out debt. Tell me about Forgive Co. What is this?
Yeah, well, I've joined Forgive Co., and we're actually going to be forgiving I think it's $10 million worth of consumer debt, which I think is going to affect over 2,600 people, like at an average around $3,500. It's a new public benefit corporation, and we're buying off their debt. It's unnecessary debt, and buying it at cents at the dollar. So we're trying to just help people out, and obviously with Christmas coming up, and with all the gratitude that I have for the fans, like I thought that's such a cool way to support people that have supported my on-field endeavors. And yeah, like it's going to California, my college state, obviously Wyoming, in Buffalo, and it's for Americans across the country that are going through some hard times right now. And just I thought it was a cool way to again show my support for the people that support me.
It's a great thing to do. Debt is crippling. Debt ruins families. Debt ruins marriages, especially this time of year at the holidays. Josh, you don't have to do that stuff. You could just play football and say that's your job. You do it, and everyone else should be into it. Forgive Co., public benefit, wiping out debt and helping people who need it. You always help us here in the basement, Josh. Go get a win, and most importantly, get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. Love it. Thank you, Kyle.
My man. See you, Josh.
See
Take
you
care,
guys.
dude.